What do you think about FX going into the 20s? When I look at all the new modeling systems out there, I look at something like the Boss Katana, which I actually happen to be sitting on right now as a chair, makeshift chair. I
They're
I
useful
very
that way.
it is. Oh yes, it is multifaceted. But yeah, like I find guitar much more accessible than at any other point, and I can see it becoming more and more accessible. But what about FX? We have so many different companies that are making plugins for your DAW. We have so many different companies coming out with different styles of effects, or like reissuing older effects at an affordable and a smaller scale.
Mm.
I don't know what direction we can possibly even go. I don't know if there's any new effects that could be made. I don't know how pedal boards will change. It just, I don't know. I'm excited for the future of it, but I don't, speechless as to what may come about.
Yeah, it's there's been a lot happening in the last few years because I forget what year it was, but people call it like the pedal boom year. I think it was 2017, um, and everyone was buying pedals and stuff. I think what's I th- I think the kind of future of it all will be just kind of there's two things I'm excited for. One is like patches and patch sharing, which I think is really good because a lot of the new modelers that are coming out have the ability for you to save a patch and create a whole sound, um, and then just share it with a friend and they can put it on their modeler and they'll have the same sound. I think that's really interesting. Um, it's going to be very interesting for the guitar community because this stuff has existed in plugins for a long time, like having patches and stuff, but it seems to be going more into the guitar community. And there's a lot of forums on, Facebook or online where people are sharing patches and enjoying each other's sounds and being more creative and things like that. Um, in terms of pedal boards, I think it's going to be interesting because it's two worlds colliding, isn't it? It's like the new digital world, and then you've got kind of people who like their pedals, digital or analog. They just like having their own little pedals, and they can't really share patches on gear from the 70s or whatever. So it's going to be an interesting. I think the things that are going to be most interesting about the future in terms of pedals and stuff will be how companies work around mixing new ideas with old stuff. That's what I'm most excited for. Like a lot of the switches that come out now, where you can, you've got MIDI and then it also switches loops and stuff. Like the GigRig stuff looks so awesome. Like they're thinking about how to please everyone, and in doing so, they're coming up with these cool ideas and new ways to keep things flowing. It's interesting, but yeah, I guess I'm excited for all that as well. Like especially modelers. I think modelers are gonna be interesting over the next 10 years. So I think it's finally going to put to bed this argument of the real thing is way better. It's just like modelers have been getting better for so long that sooner or later they are going to be, in a sense, indistinguishable. And I think that's going to be an interesting time because you're just going to have a lot of people being like, no, there is a difference and then loads of videos on YouTube like blindfold challenges and people will just not know what's being played.
Exactly.
It's yeah, yeah, it's interesting. It'll be fun to see.
That's how I kind of feel with like pickups. Before I think of all the time that I invested into trying to like seek out this sound and like does this work out with my amp properly, and am I really pushing it well with this clean boost or this dirty boost? And then like nowadays I honestly don't think I've heard a bad set of pickups off of any production guitar
Mhm.
in at least 5 years. Everything that's being, it's not creating for other people, but you're creating for yourself. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice when you're trying to find how different things are instead of just accepting how far they have come and how much easier it is for you to create what is stuck in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think is so valuable about modelers as well, because you get everything. You know, you get reverbs, delays, um, modulations, overdrives, different amps. So essentially, it gets more people started with guitar, which I think is very useful. Um, you know, and the idea that people can then make something who've just started playing guitar and then share it with their friends and stuff. It's a whole new thing for guitar, and I think I don't know, it makes guitar a bit more exciting. Like I'm at the moment, I'm doing a bunch of stuff with a company called New X, um, and they've asked me to make patches for things, and I've been making a few patches for one of their new modelers, and it's just you sit down with it, and then you're just like, what can I make this thing do? And then it's kind of nice knowing that you spend time on something, you put it away, but then other people are downloading it, having fun with it, and it's I like that. I like the kind of, it's more of an interactive experience rather than just making a video that's your sound, uploading it and having people go, well, that's really cool. It's like, well, now they can download it and play it and change it. I think that's really fun, really interesting way of changing the guitar pedal experience kind of thing.
I didn't think of it like that, but you're right. It does offer a new area to it. But
Mm.
like you were saying, New X, they have some great products. I like a lot of their stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what you make with them. And even like GigRig, as you said earlier, like I'm so excited about all of these like new just new areas for us to explore. It keeps the guitar
Yeah.
interesting.